Hello, and welcome to Shady Business, a podcast dedicated to commentary on scams that live on the internet. I am your host, Maja, and I'm here to guide you through all things scam. Take a drink, and let's guide you on this world of adventure. Hello, my name is Maja, and welcome to Shady Business Podcast. We are here today on a lovely sunny day, and today we'll be talking about a variety of topics, ranging from, I think we had something on the roster with, I guess, the U of I killer.
Yeah.
And
start off hot.
And then we had some more development on rankings, and then a couple of other like little news bits. And with me today is my co-host,
Berto. Well.
Yeah, that one. Yes, Roberto.
Yes, ma'am.
Episode 4.
Woo! Wow, look at us moving and grooving.
4.
It's actually interesting because we have a new guy that started recently, and he does a podcast called Wild Nights, and we did 4 episodes right off the bat, and then just released them all at once.
Nice.
And I know it's not big numbers, but most podcasters, like when they release a new episode, they really only get, and like they're fresh, like completely
babies.
Like, yeah, they're babies
Infants.
are doing this. Yeah. And they get like 100 views within like the first like month or two, maybe 3 months. Slowly they'll start to creep up over time. But like Trey's, we pushed it all out, and I think it's only the first 2 or 3 videos right now, but they already got like up to 75 views.
I mean, imagine a room full of 75 people.
Yeah, and that's what I people have to remember all the time. It's like,
unless it's your mom just putting it on repeat.
That too.
I mean, I would do that.
Love my mom, but I want other people to listen.
She'll tell her friends, right?
Hopefully. I mean, if she can understand it, yeah.
Oh.
But no, I just bring that up because we haven't released an episode fully yet. This is live. And Sean, if I know we only have 18 subscribers, but if by chance anyone does hop on, or they,
yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah, just let us know, and we'll just act a fool and be like, "What? Like, what's up? Like, hold on, don't leave. Like, please talk to us."
Yeah.
See if we can get them to respond.
That'd be nice. I can try and message and see if somebody would like hop on.
Can you text us the link, Sean, real quick?
Yeah.
Do a little quick
like, hey, we're test recording.
Yes. All right. Hey, we're live here with the Shady Business Podcast. If you want to come on and watch us live, here's a link. I'll post it right on this story. Swipe up. Bye.
Perfect. She's a au naturel.
I grew up in the YouTube era.
Yeah, I feel pretty shitty about not being more attentive to YouTube when we just saw it coming up. Like I can't believe that we were around when YouTube was first born.
You have to, I don't know, you have to feel it. You have to feel and be able to just jump at that opportunity. Because those people who first started on YouTube, they didn't know what they were doing. They literally were sitting in front of a camera in their bedrooms, recording their little first videos, not knowing that they were going to blow up.
Yeah.
And now look at them. Look at them all.
Look at them babies. Now they're
somewhere.
Grandpas. I mean, that's probably middle-aged, 40s, something like that. We're not that old.
No.
No, I just do find it interesting that, like, at the end of the day, I guess it is about consistency and doing all that. But the style of content has changed, like podcasting and videos, quality, all that stuff. But now it's like, I look at some of those old YouTubers, and even Joe Rogan. He still has his first ever stream up on his channel.
Really?
You just have to scroll like
forever
20 pages back, and
can
you can
like
find
sort from oldest to newest?
I think it's so old, like it doesn't even load properly.
No.
So you have to just like go all the way back and find it.
Dedication right there.
But they're doing what we're doing. They're just sitting there getting ready for the show, and it's already live. He's like, "Oh shit, I think we're live." And they're like looking around. He's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Oh, well, what's
Are
up?"
we the next Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan. We could be. Oh, you just got to be optimistic.
Joette.
Right? Really?
Joey and Joe.
Joey and Joette. I do Snapchat stuff or whatever. Like I try to post my story, and for when I was doing it consistently, I was getting pretty good views. I was getting like 30,000 views a month on my Snapchat account.
Okay.
And, yeah, it's weird.
What were you posting?
Just random life stuff.
Just like your I don't know, your omelet? What?
Yeah,
Like,
things that I was doing.
and 30,000 people were
like
yeah.
photos, going out to hanging out with people
Okay.
and whatnot. And
Okay. So were you like a socialite?
what does that mean?
Were you like somebody who just a community member who participates in the social gatherings amongst other like peers? I freaking don't know.
Very well described.
Thank you.
I honestly, like, if you want my honest opinion, I don't know. I still don't know who I am or what I do.
Oh wow.
I know what it is I want to do,
Uh-huh.
and I know the path that I am on is currently the right path. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to be where I am, but I still have a lot of unanswered questions about
You
myself.
should tell the people about your mile time.
My current one or my old one?
Your current one.
I have been working on getting back into running, and I used to be a big time runner in high school. Back in November, I started running 8-minute miles again, which was very slow in my mind. And right now, I'm
It's
just
better than most.
I guess not bad. It could always be better. Limiting beliefs, whatever you want to call it. But just as of yesterday, I started to finally crack 6-minute mile pace, so I can run a mile in about 5 minutes and 55 seconds again.
Dude, that's really impressive.
Thank you. And
I
I'm
heard
trying
a
to
click.
what?
I heard a blimp.
Heard a blimp. Let's see who.
Anything?
Nope, just debt collectors.
Dang it. They heard what they were. They heard we were live.
They're like, hey, we've been trying to reach you about your car insurance. No, we're not live anymore. But yeah, I'm just working on getting my mile time down so I can break 5-minute miles with, hopefully by the end of the year.
That'd be nice.
It'd be hard, but it'd be a task to accomplish.
Are you gonna try and do it before the end of the year?
Yes.
And then what is gonna be your New Year's resolution?
To competitively run every month and be consistent. Yeah. So I basically been training this whole time, so that way I can really just drop the freaking ball on my first race. Not drop the ball, but just bring the heat. Bring the heat on my first. Yeah,
drop the mic on your first race.
Yeah, just really
run with the mic.
Wow, people. Yeah,
just run with the mic.
There's a podcast guy that's doing a show about. He's like interviewing people while he's running, and it's so uncomfortable, but it's getting views.
Is it as like auditorily challenging as I think it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually,
I couldn't do
yep.
it.
You hear him just.
I'm just like
panting and everything. So that one's a little rough, not gonna lie. And yeah, let's see.
Oh yeah, did anyone respond?
No, I doubt it. I mean,
people are working. People are doing the thing.
People got things to do. Okay, so we're gonna talk about our first topic that we kind of brought up.
We did have something going before. I was just like, hey, let's film the filming.
We got a lot of stuff going.
Yeah.
Let's, I guess, in the big picture, we started talking about.
Can we like get a replay?
No,
Dang.
We got this. The killing of the Idaho.
The
Idaho
U of I
students,
guy.
The U of I students.
Because I didn't know his name.
Yeah. So, long story short, it seems that Brian Koberg, I believe is his name.
Brian Koberg.
And I mean, this is kind of where I guess we'll get our good clips from, and everybody that's watching, like, this is live. I'm doing stuff here. I'm on my phone. She's looking at notes, writing stuff down. So like the post production is where you'll see like the cleanup version if we have one.
Yeah, this is raw. This is intimate.
But yeah.
If something were to happen right now, we could report on it live.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I just want to read you the latest story that there is about him.
Yes, please do.
So, defense asked that Brian Koberg be allowed to wear suits in Boise ahead of murder trial. And the latest news about that is that Brian Koberg committed this crime, I think back in, I can't remember what county specifically, but he was in the county on where the crime was committed, and that's where he was being held for his court trials. Mm-hmm. The defense made an argument that it was impossible to have a fair trial because of the prejudice that is around the crime that happened and everybody knows about it. So when they're picking their jury, they already have a biased jury that wants to indict him versus hear him out or hear all parts of the story.
Right.
So their idea, the defense's idea, was to go ahead and move that case to Boise, Idaho.
Shut up.
To have a less biased or I guess impartial, whatever the correct terms are.
I guess you get a bigger population, but I mean, news spreads so fast in Idaho.
I bring it up because I genuinely don't know how many times this has happened where people have made those defense claims where it's like, hey, we can't have a fair trial because of this jury. It's like, what about all the celebrities and all the people that have gone through these trials that have had the same spotlight issue? And then not only that, this is where it gets fishy, and this is where the shadiness comes in.
Shady business.
This man studied criminal justice.
Yeah.
He literally was majoring
PhD
in criminology and criminal justice or whatever that dang degree is.
I think he was writing his paper about how to get away with a murder.
I'm not surprised if he was.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Well, he was almost done.
Yeah.
Like, I think he was graduating or he was in his last few quarters and stuff like that.
He really took his, like, cornerstone project seriously. He wanted hands-on experience.
He really wanted to prove the concepts that he was learning. He's like, this university teaches great things. I was able to get away with 3 to 4 murders, and that's really messed up. But my point bringing that up is that, like, I really don't know how the justice system can handle something like that, or what it is that the.
How do you take the bias out? How
honestly,
do you?
That's a big question in my mind because it causes frustration for the victims, the family's victims, where it's like, dude, everyone knows about this in Idaho. What are you going to move the case to Washington or Oregon where it didn't happen, and now the whole jurisdiction of where the case, like that's
different rules, regulations. Yeah, it's.
So is it a money thing? Does he really know the rules? And he's really playing a game. That's what I'm saying. Like, where does the shadiness lie? Within the justice system, or within the guy that committed the crime and what he learned at his school?
I mean, I'm gonna go with gut instinct and go with the guy and his defensive team because they are trying to technically play the game. I mean, he's still technically innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're still trying. They're gonna try so hard. I mean, this is a great Criminal Minds episode in the making. And I would love to see that come to fruition. And I would like a 10% cut.
You're like, I want ownership now. And I'm just asking a question here.
Yeah.
His latest. And in this show, we also do have a special we have a dedicated analysis who looks at all of our facts and facts checks everything that we do, and their name is Sage/ChatGPT. So we're gonna read to you now what Sage has to say for you guys about Brian Koberg. She searched 2 sites for this information, so let's see if it's accurate. Brian Koberg is the suspect accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in November of 2022. His trial has faced numerous delays, with the defense citing issues such as a biased jury and the need to change the venue due to the small jury pool in Latah County. So that's where it was.
Latah is really tiny.
Currently, no trial date is set, but the judge is considering scheduling it for summer of 2024, although the defense prefers summer of 2025. You're really going to wait a whole year to take care of this?
The jurisdiction or the judiciary system as a whole is very slow. Very slow.
Yeah, it definitely is. And this case has garnered significant media attention, including a Paramount Plus docuseries titled
"But wait until we make that money,
Cyber
though.
Sleuths: The Idaho Murderers." And he's worried about attention and biased juries. Really?
Do you know what this reminds me of?
What?
What was that one lady? It was like, I think it was 2015 or 2014. And it was this girl who had her son. And I think he like drowned in the canal. And she would like pled in, hold on. But it's giving me those vibes. And she was like dragging out the court case. And then in the end, she got like a book deal or something like that.
We're about to just start a true crime podcast at this point because
I know I'm not even that big of a true crime person.
Neither am I. But you know what that just reminded me of?
What?
The story of the couple that went out hiking and the boyfriend came back and didn't know where his girlfriend was. And I don't think it ever got solved. She literally just disappeared. They went hiking or something, and people are literally assuming that he pushed her off like the mountain, and he just drove home and was like, I don't know.
The mountain lions got her.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I gotta find that one. That one was because I don't think it ever ended.
That's shady.
Mm-hmm. That one is real shady.
Business.
That's a 9 out of 10 right there. You go on a hike with your girlfriend and she doesn't come back, and you don't know where she's at.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah, she thinks she just went to the bathroom or something. I haven't seen her.
Okay.
Haven't seen her since. Horrible.
That's awful.
Yeah, that one was pretty bad. But you were saying though about the lady in the
but it just reminded me, just like I don't know what it is. Like, do these people, if a crime is big enough, do they like have like PR or publicists come to them prior or during the trial to see if they can like create a monetary like ball or
100%.
Like
100%. I mean, the media companies, and I mean, if you're New York Times or CNN and you want to contradict these claims or these assumptions I'm going to make, but there's no reason. Like, you see it on TV all the time where like a news story will break, and these news outlets will tell every partner or news outlet about it, and they have agendas on when things are going to be released. Time, like they know. They know when to drop the ball or when to not.
Question.
Yeah.
On our little ranking scale, of our arbitrary ranking scale.
All right, let's hear it.
The news.
There'll be a standard though. Don't worry, people.
Yeah, we are working on an episode where we will sit down, create a scale where we have different facets, and we will rank each part of it and select. It'll be fun. It'll be
an accredited shadiness ranking scale.
A special episode, maybe a holiday episode.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Okay, you were saying though.
But from 1 to 10. The news.
She wants to open that
a
can of worms.
Bit.
Okay.
Like, I'd like to crack that worm a little bit.
Have you ever seen the video that somebody put together? I think it was about 2 years ago. And this is slightly off topic, but very similar. I no longer believe in coincidences.
Oh.
I'm not a man of that kind of belief anymore. And I believe, I don't want to say things happen for a reason, but they're, what's the phrases I'm looking for? Like, there's a reaction to every action. So things happen because people do things or they say things. It's not just a coincidence.
Well, yeah, every incident is a combination of events from others.
Yes. So it's not just like, it doesn't just poof into the world, right? So I think it was about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, there's a video that started to go viral of clips of every single news station in America where they were saying the same exact thing at different times and at different dates. And they were basically, if you just watch it, they're reading a script.
Ooh.
It's really freaky because you want to assume that there's no connection whatsoever. But again, with the belief system I have, I'm like, nothing's a coincidence.
Right.
Like, it's really...
What were they saying?
They just have a script that they read.
Well,
do
you remember what it was?
No, I could find the clip easily, but you have to go all the way back and look at when TV started to come around. And I had a friend ask me this, like, what do you think the effect is on society when it came to like TV and life and school and work? And I truly believe that while there's not like this big conspiracy out to ruin the world or ruin people, I do believe that there are a lot of people that are making sure that things go their way or that benefit them more than the general public.
And they're going to therapy to learn manipulation tactics.
Yeah. No, well, they have that. Not only that, they have high level access to top people, right? Psychologists, sociologists, people that study the economy, people that build the rules, people that literally implement legislation around politics. Like, when you have that kind of influence or connections or powers, I'm gonna
make anything happen.
You can do a lot of things. So,
like, what do you think about AI then?
I guess in what regards?
And scams. Like, do you think that could be potentially an area where scams can proliferate? Yeah,
and it's the tough part though is when is it going to start happening and like how fast?
Because they do have the deepfakes now with the voices.
Yep, deepfakes are already a big thing, but like, and this is a very small line to walk because you don't want to get into the side of conspiracies versus like actual shadiness in terms of like intent.
True.
When the intent is involved and you're able to look at that, it's not a conspiracy. It's an actual thing. And so like when it comes, like one thing that people have already joked about, or it could be a whole real possibility, and hopefully this doesn't get us in trouble, but I'll bring it up. But the idea that Biden is not real, or the idea that Biden like
I have not heard that. What?
that's so basically anytime that you're watching a presidential broadcast, what they were trying to say, or people were trying to make claims is that there's a very high chance in the next 5 years that you could be watching a presidential broadcast that's not real.
Ooh.
It's a deep fake.
Ooh.
It's a video of him or the person scripted to say exactly what needs to be said. And you could argue both sides of this. You could be like, that's really bad, that's really shady. But what if you use it with a positive intent where you do write a message, and in order to save time, money, the reporters, all the setup, you literally just upload it to this deep fake program.
Roberto, it's already happening. There's this one influencer in Barcelona. So there was this whole news article about how their companies were starting to get fed up with all of these influencers flaking on them.
Yep.
So there's this AI influencer, and she's obviously gorgeous. She's perfect. And they use her. They hire her. And use her as an influencer to do all the branding and all the stuff, and that's
low scale.
That is so very crazy.
It's insane, and that is very low scale. So if that can happen at the lowest scale possible, imagine what the most money and the most tech can do at a government level.
Saying like it's so easy access. Like we're already being desensitized to it.
Yeah. So it's not a matter of like how shady or how scammy. It's just like how fast it's gonna happen, when it's gonna happen, and if you're even gonna notice.
Yeah.
Frankly, I mean, think of spam emails. Everyone opened up an email. Everyone signed up for an email one day, and then all of a sudden, 10 years later, now we get 500 emails a month from insurance companies and credit cards, and like, there's no way out of it.
It's gross.
Yeah, and people didn't sign up for emails for that.
No.
People didn't start using AI today just so that way they could get scammed themselves, but it's going to happen.
It is. Inevitably.
Yeah, that's the hard part about it, is that you, like, one thing that I guess I want to point out is that Maya and I aren't making this show to, like, scare people. Like, I obviously know people can get fearful. There can be a little fear-mongering, and you can talk about things that are scary, but it's more for information purposes.
Yes, because the more exposure you have to a subject, the more you're able to see it in your everyday life. Think about it. If you really love red cars, you're just like, oh, those things are so cool. You think about them, you look them up, you see them on the TV. You're going to see them out in the real world too. You're going to notice them more often because you're more aware of them.
Yeah.
Same with scams. Same with these things that we like to talk about, so that once you are out in the real world and you're interacting with media, with your friends, with stuff, and you hear these things being repeated back, you can be like, hey, oh, I heard this. Oh, wait, I've heard about this. This could be something. And you could be a little bit more cautious.
Yeah.
Or not like divulge certain information, or like et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and I mean, your whole life is literally a series of exposures and remembering what you're exposed to, which then curates your thoughts and your beliefs around everything that it is that you do. So if your whole life you are protected from scams and you're never faced by them, and you don't ever learn the negatives or what happens to other people, you're basically walking around the earth with something that is inevitable to happen to a majority of the population.
Exactly.
And so when it happens to you, if it ever does, then you get frustrated or you get doubtful. You're like, oh, like, man, the world's not as nice as I thought it was. And it's like, well, you just didn't really know.
Yeah. I mean, there are nice people out there. There's people who want to help you and see you succeed. But at the same time, at the other flip of the coin, there are other people out there who want to just use what you have, take what you have. And we're going to be that barrier.
Yeah, we'd like to be, at least, because I mean, I've probably fallen victim to a couple scams from like when I grew up to now. Nothing like significantly life-changing or altering. Like, I haven't gotten blessed to say that I haven't fell for anything like that.
Gotten your life savings drained or something like that.
Well, actually, Actually, I take that back because never mind. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Whereas, like, if I was listening to a guy or somebody that had experience talking about getting scammed by even con artists or peoples, yes, I'm looking at you. You know who I'm talking about. Not you, Sean, but the other guy. If he ever watches my stuff, like, this man knows I'm talking about him.
Ooh, we got tea.
And there's lots of tea.
Let's spill that tea.
We'll get there eventually. Maybe another episode.
Okay.
But long story short, like, if I would have at least been able to pay attention or learn a little bit more about what con artists will do to early stage entrepreneurs, investors, whatever it may be, my whole life would probably be different. And I'm not saying for the better or for the worse. I just know that my life completely fell apart and I lost everything from being basically conned. And it was a good con. It was a con that
successful con?
It was a successful con. I fell for it. Everything that was supposed to happen, I guess, in his eyes happened. He's not in prison, so he got away with it. And the only positive that came out of it is I'm sitting right here talking to this camera because of it. My whole company came from it. The people that I work with today, the friends and families I have, came from this guy scamming and conning me and ruining my entire life. And I'm not, like, again, if he's watching and he knows this, and if anybody else that was a part of that team is watching this and knows this, I take responsibility for the things that I did and the things I didn't pay attention to. I saw stuff, I was aware of things, but I just didn't know.
It was that hope.
It was that hope and not trusting that gut instinct of like, okay, well, I probably shouldn't be spending my personal money on this business, or probably shouldn't be doing this.
Did it at times feel too good to be true?
100%. I mean, the day it happened, it felt too good to be true. And it was a really hard thing to understand because when I was working at Apple, I was trained, and this is the scary part, people, is that like there are mindsets and things that you can have growing up that really can just, if you don't know how to use them, it can make you blind to a lot of things. And one of the mindsets they taught us at Apple was you always assume positive intent. Imagine trying to grow up in this world where you're assuming that everyone is doing something out of a positive, or like there's a positive intent to it. Like, he didn't mean to kill me. He didn't mean to shoot me. Maybe he was struggling with something and he had something going on in his brain and he was like, in a perfect world, yes, but that was my mindset.
Right.
I had just been trained for 3 years to think that way and to deal with customers where they're not coming in to steal from the store. They're coming in because they have a problem and we need to solve it for them. Positive intent, right?
Yeah.
That's just not how the world works.
No.
Maybe in some closed areas or certain rooms or walls, but like not the global world. And I had to learn that a really hard way because for 2.5 years, I guess only for about 1.5 years, 2 years, I assumed that this guy had a positive intent and he didn't.
Was he your friend at all? Did it come from friendship or was it a stranger?
He was a stranger.
Okay,
yeah.
So at least there was that.
Yeah, there was that aspect. And I mean, if people want to know, I did my slight research.
Mm-hmm.
I looked into him. I looked up his name. I was trying to figure out who he was and everything. And there was stuff online, but it was from like 3 to 4 years ago. And again, I just assumed everyone has a past. Why am I going to judge somebody from
and people usually
how they were 3 years ago?
Leave reviews if they like are super duper or like super duper the other way. It's not anything and like it was this, but I could have done this. It was just those like outliers.
Yep. And after about a year of working with this guy, every comment that I had read on the internet was 100% true, and it sucked because it was right there in front of me.
Do you feel guilty at all for falling 100%. For it? Yeah.
I've already came and made peace with that guilt, and I've forgiven myself for the things that I've done and said and the way that some relationships and friendships ended, but I'll never forget it. Like I'll probably won't make that same mistake.
I'll make a better entrepreneur for it.
Yeah, I'll make another mistake, but not the same one as that one. Unfortunately, though, or fortunately, though, it did create a new way to look at things, a new way to analyze.
Altered your perspective.
Yeah, alter my perspective a little bit. And if I wasn't scammed back then, I probably would have been scammed 5 years later. You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, there are really smart ones out there, and they love bomb you.
Yeah.
And then they try and use all the little tricks in the book to try and gain your trust.
Yeah.
And I think that we were talking about this before, because this actually falls into one of those, like, they're called grooming scams, where people that are a little bit more experienced in scamming or conning will find victims, and they will quote unquote groom them into thinking certain ways, so that when later on they are needed to take money from, or sensitive information, or any sort of stuff like that, it's easier to take advantage of, because they've created that trust with that person. They've
Right.
created that bond. So it's like, how could that person ever do any wrong to me? How could they ever lead me down a wrong path? And so those scams tend to be a little bit more complicated, because you do add that layer of feeling, and that level of like emotional connection, and parasocial and social relationships and stuff like that.
100%. And the unfortunate part is that everything that Maya was just said is transferred across all sorts of scams and abuse schemes, which you can go as far as financial scams, relationships, narcissistic partners, abusive partners, trafficking, rape, drugging, all that stuff. Like
everything.
the things that, I guess, the tactics and tools that are used in each area, unfortunately, are things that people pick up and they can apply to many areas in their life. So like, just because you're not a business owner doesn't mean like this information wouldn't apply to you, because this can happen to you by a friend, by a loved one, by a grandparent, anybody, frankly.
A stranger.
Yeah, complete stranger. I mean, that's
somebody who doesn't even know you can like just randomly pick you.
Yeah, and so like, if you ever go through anything in your life, I would say figure out, do a breakdown and overview of how things happen and why they happened. And it's easier said than done, but I guess from personal experience, like, it took me about, I would say, close to 2 years to make sure that the new beliefs and thoughts I had weren't impacting the way that I saw people, like, immediately. Because I'm somebody that I don't want to judge people, and I'm really trying to work on that side personally. But kind of like what we just brought up, where it's like, when you get all these influences from things that have happened to you, you have to be more socially conscious and aware about who you're interacting with, the things that you're saying, and the things that you're thinking about. And that's all you have to do. Like, you don't have to be a genius to not get scammed. You just got to pay attention.
Yes, it's the attention to the detail. It's the discrepancy between what is being said and what is being done.
Yeah.
The clues, it's not, this is not supposed to come off rough or like blunt, but the clues are always there. Like, whenever the cliche saying
In
retrospect or something like that. Retrospect is always 2020 or something like that. When you're looking back, and it's true, because when you're looking back, you do see the clues because they were there, but you just in that moment didn't know. You just didn't know.
Yeah.
So always stay vigilant. Always stay aware. Talk to friends and family who you trust, so that maybe they might see something that you don't see. Or I know a lot of people tend to hide certain projects because they don't want to tell anybody before it comes to fruition, and they don't want to, feel like a failure because it didn't go through. Well, that's because that's a safeguard.
Yeah.
You tell somebody about something and they're like, maybe that doesn't sound too great, or it doesn't sound too good to be true. And then kind of maybe discourages you, maybe looks at you. And in that moment, it doesn't feel too good. But maybe in a couple months, you'll be like, oh, shoot, I dodged a bullet there. So talk to your friends and family.
Yeah. And not only that, Maya brings up a really good point that I kind of want to touch on. I'm glad you brought that up, because like, I remember when I was in my past relationship, I was with my ex for a while, and whenever I would get like frustrated with things or things that would bother me, and this took me up till now to kind of realize this, a lot of the reasons why things would make me upset was just because I didn't know about something, or I was unaware or informed or improperly informed, right? And as I've spent my time alone and spending a lot of time alone, a lot of the things that frustrate me, I realize are within my control. And when it comes to scams and getting scammed by people, and not necessarily your friends, but it can be anybody, the best way to like, I would say, handle it or recover from that is if you did share it with other people, because you then to learn to develop this sense of like personal responsibility where you're like, I did talk to people, and it was like, you can almost get mad at your friends by be like, well, why didn't you say anything? So you never told me.
Exactly.
Or you didn't tell me what you were dealing with, or you didn't tell me who was scamming you.
You're
or
my friend. You're supposed to look out for. Well, how am I supposed to look out for you if I don't know?
if you didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And that's where Maya's makes a really good point. It's like, just talk to people, because if you, whether they're going to agree with you or not, that's not the point. The point is that you need to make your decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've spoke with everybody that you love and trust, and you still decide to move forward with whatever it is you're moving forward with, that's fine.
Yeah.
But that is on you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really hard truth that people don't want to accept, because then you're failing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. It really does. But
it humbles you.
It humbles you. You learn really fast, and there's no one for you to get mad at besides yourself.
Exactly. And that's what it is. It's like, if nobody knew about it, then I don't have to face that embarrassment, I guess, but there is no embarrassment, because everyone's been in that situation. All that, it's all shared experience, and people forget that. We forget that you and I have both been embarrassed at one point for probably similar things.
Yep.
Somebody rejected us.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said that we weren't good at something, or maybe we were too good at something, and that was something weird that came up. I don't know. It just, if you have felt a certain emotion, if you felt a certain, or experienced due to rejection, sadness, anger, any sort of stuff like that, other people have felt that way. They don't judge you as severely as you're judging yourself in that moment. Nobody is thinking about you as much as you're thinking about yourself.
100%. And that, I was actually just in a group on Monday. I think we were doing our Bible group, and somebody brought up the fact, he's like, he goes, a lot of people tell themselves fake stories. Yeah. They write these fake narratives or their stories about like, oh, but if I tell Maya, she's going to be like, dude, you're literally on the Shady Business podcast and you still got scammed. Like that could happen. Right. Whereas like, if I just talk to her about it and I tell her and we have this conversation, she could be like, okay, yeah, you probably should have been paying attention, but like, it's going to be okay. At least having that support system or that person to fall back on, in terms of when and if things go south, just not feeling like you're so alone, because then getting scammed is even worse.
Yeah.
It's a horrible feeling. Yeah. And if you haven't been scammed before, we hope that it does not happen to you. And if you have been scammed before, I mean, you can even write to us, put it in the comments, let us know. Like, it'd be interesting to hear about your stories. But
please, I'd love to I'd love to have a segment where we share other people's scams, and maybe even bring awareness to niche scams where like maybe there's some in the community that we don't know about because they're so small. Right. And that's how certain scams like pass under the radar. Mm-hmm. They just are that small where there's no information about them. So when you type it in, because we all do this, you get a weird message or you get something and you're like, I don't know what this is. You'll type it into Google, like that first line or two in an email or something, and then like a Reddit post comes up, or like a subreddit with a bunch of questions with the same like verbatim words. It's like, is this a scam? And then it's like, yes. Or when a fake number or like a random number calls you, you type it into Google to see if you can like reverse find it. Yep. That's what we're doing. So if you have something that you want to like get out there, a personal anecdote that you want to get some airtime, we'd love to share it.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to. We'd don't have a big roster right now for
inquiries,
18 subs. But hey, we'll get there. I mean, it does say that 3 people are watching. I don't know if they still are watching.
Really?
But Sean, is it still active? Or
yeah, there's 3 people.
Say something to them, Maya. Show them some love.
Hi.
So that's it.
I would love to know who it is, but if it's just a random fan viewer stumbled up on us, hello, welcome. I hope you had a good time listening to us babble about life and scams and shady episodes.
That's good. I like that. Yeah. Well, yeah. And whenever, if there are 3 people watching it, I'm not a streamer. Maya's obviously getting into this. Like, I've done podcast production for a long time, but I know there's like this emphasis where it's like when people are watching, you kind of be like, hey, like shout out to the 3 people that are watching.
Yeah,
Thank
shout
you.
out.
Like,
Yes.
feel free to comment. Let us know who you are. Introduce yourselves.
Yeah. I'd love
You're now our 3
to.
friends that we're hanging out with today.
Yeah.
So there's 5 of us here technically.
There's like two cameras and a light, so that's technically 5 things in the
Yeah,
room. So
I
it's
like
like you guys are here with us, little homies.
Because I don't think I can even see if they did comment or anything. Could I, Sean? Or is there a way to see that?
I think you have to open up the...
YouTube studio one?
No, I think you can open up the stream and go to comments.
Oh.
Are there comments?
If you're on the YouTube app.
No, somebody. Well, are there? I don't think so.
Oh, one of my besties is on.
Oh, there you go. Like, hey, boo.
Hey, Alan. What's up?
There you go. Yes, it's 1 likes, 3 viewers.
I
So,
just shouted you.
what up, Alan? Thanks for the love, brother.
What up, Alan? Thanks for the love.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shout out your vape shop.
Yeah, throw him a sponsorship right now. Do it.
Yes. I honestly don't remember the name.
Oh gosh.
But it's the vape shop right next to Indie Clover and Albertsons off of State.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right next to that really good pastry shop that's open for literally like 2 hours.
What's the name of that one?
Pangea.
Pangea. That's not. Let's cut that out. That's not what it's called.
It's
Pangea.
really fire and good.
Okay, so shout out
Maya needs to learn how to remember names.
shout out local vape
Proper.
shop in Boise, Idaho. Go
Yeah.
get your vapes and all your vaping needs. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. I don't know.
Sure, that sounds right.
If you have a friend in the diamond business, Shane Company. In Portland, that was probably the most popular ad. Is what is it? You have a friend in the diamond business, the Shane Company, off Highway 217 across from the Washington Square Mall. Open weekdays till 8, Saturday and Sunday till 5. Online at shaneco.com.
Wow, I know. Call 1-800-STEAMERS. Stanley Steamers make carpet cleaner.
Or there's a, oh geez, it's the commercial for Empire Today. I think it's like 1-800-588-3200 Empire Today.
Oh, what about the
Please call those numbers. Please.
or it was like the student connection. Get your no.
No. But if you want to call the Domino's Pizza in Longview, Washington, it's 360-636-6000.
Hey.
A lot of 6s and 3s.
My favorite number is 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy Trinity?
I don't know. I just really like
That's
3.
what it is.
That's what it is.
It's a beautiful number. What else were we supposed to talk about? There was something else. We just completely fell off track.
I mean, I did mention it in that one whole sentence.
The
AI deepfakes.
So yeah, the deepfake things. Long.
How much? How long has this?
I think
been?
we're at 45 minutes ish.
Is it
What are we at, Sean?
Yeah, like 53.
53?
It's not bad. We can
Round out an hour.
Yeah, we can do one more and round it out an hour. So
Okay.
we got 7 minutes, Phil.
Okay. What should we? Hold on. Let me.
There was a last thing that you had just said that I wanted to bring up. Oh, well, you were saying that we want to kind of be that barrier, that wall between people getting scammed and what scams are out there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll build a segment eventually where it's like avoid these things right now.
Yes.
Or pay attention to these things.
Ooh,
and I have a couple
hot.
off my head right now.
Please do. All right. Segment.
Pow.
Things to avoid right now.
Yes. We're here live at we're here on Chicago Street outdoors. It's raining. No. So it's something to pay attention to right now would be your phone numbers getting leaked by cellular providers. So it's very unfortunate. I was part of the group of AT&T, and AT&T, if you're watching this, figure this out.
Yeah.
Basically, all my phone numbers at AT&T got leaked, and I got an email.
How many phone numbers do you have?
Like 6. So they all got leaked. And they're not just mine. They're like families, and
Oh,
relatives.
okay,
I have like an
okay.
iPad and something else. So
Your iPad has.
yeah, for the cellular
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Long
I
story
just
short,
take sugar.
all these numbers ended up getting leaked, and they show the last 4 digits of the numbers that got leaked.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, AT&T was like, we did none of your texts got leaked or your pictures, but all your information did. So like your billing account, your credit card, social, like, you know,
None of your food pics, but like your social.
they're like, yeah, that's kind of fucked. So when all that stuff got leaked, all of a sudden I started to get text messages left and right. UPS packages missed. Oh, is this so and so? This is blah blah blah. Are you still in? Or like random ones would be like, hey, are you still in Seattle? I'm coming to visit. I'm like, who is this? And they're like, oh, sorry, wrong number, but we should be friends. I'm like, what the? I'm like, okay, this is annoying. So if you get a text message from a number that you do not know, just don't open it. Don't even open it. Don't even look at it. Just delete it.
Delete and report.
I
Delete and
promise
report.
you are going to just you. Please listen.
Unless
Like,
you gave somebody your number, why would they have your number?
well, my rule of thumb for that is that if somebody really wants to get a hold of you, they're going to do two things. They're either going to leave you a voicemail or send you a real text message saying,
Yeah, like
hey,
a descriptive.
this is so and so
Yeah.
trying to collect a debt.
Yeah.
But not you left your UPS package and we couldn't deliver it. Click this link to get a new delivery link.
Yeah.
Avoid those at all costs.
Mhm.
Any messages or information you get from unsolicited or unknown numbers, do not answer. Just ignore.
Exactly.
I promise you will save yourself headaches.
Exactly.
You can try blocking them all you want, but just don't answer them.
Yeah.
Another one is that they're getting really scammers are getting really good at copying and mimicking corporate email addresses. So every month I get an email from Zoom now, and I know it's fake because Zoom is not giving away money because they won the lottery. But the email
Zoom's doing really good.
but the email literally says zoom.usa@zoom.com. Unless you are giving away money, please let us know now.
Yeah,
But
Zoom, do you want to sponsor
as
us?
of right now, if you get emails from video conferencing platforms, messaging platforms, anything online that's asking you to log in to claim something, do not do it.
Yes.
Even, and yes, I know this is a hard one, even if you get messages from Facebook claiming that someone's going to log into your account,
Don't click it.
don't click it. Just go to Facebook.
Yeah, like just go to your
the
account.
site,
Yeah.
and if you really feel uncomfortable, change your password from there.
Mhm.
But do not click on the link that they send you.
Mm-mm.
Just don't. And the last one that I've been seeing a lot recently is the USPS packaging, the phone number one, the Zoom
The
one,
LinkedIn ones.
the LinkedIn ones. Which ones are those ones?
So I've been getting a lot of the ones where it's like, hey, this is Tim with Healthcare United. I have a job opportunity. Message me on my WhatsApp.
If anyone asks you to message them on WhatsApp, just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Don't do it.
No business is going to do that.
At
No.
least not in the U.S.
No.
There are clear channels for communication, such as email and
Mhm.
phones. But when it comes to WhatsApp, no. So if you get those on any platform, and especially LinkedIn, because I know it's supposed to be professional,
Mhm.
just avoid them. It's either not authentic or not legit, or somebody outside of the States.
Yeah.
And
Trying to get your money.
if you're not trying to work with somebody outside of the States, then just
Yeah.
obviously don't do that.
Yeah, because I mean, unless you have some predisposition or some sort of prearranged meeting or whatever before, then maybe you know about that. But something out of the ordinary like that, like that's suspicious. That's red flag. Take off those rose-colored glasses. It's a
Yeah.
red flag.
Yeah, and again, we talked about it earlier in the episode. Pay attention to a lot of these things because, here's a perfect real life example. I was getting calls this morning from the UK, and it's
Governor.
right, but it was actually for one of the recording studios out there from the BBC.
Okay.
And I know the guy through email. We messaged the technical director, so we were literally contacting people all the way out in London and the UK. And then this morning,
You knew about it.
Yeah, I knew about it, but I was getting calls from a 444
Mhm.
800 weird ass number, and it took me an hour to realize. I was like, oh shoot! I was like, that's probably them. And they left us a voicemail after calling about 4 or 5 times, and they're like, hey, this is Ben,
Right.
and there you go.
Yeah.
So
And that's the thing. If somebody's actually trying to get in touch with you, they're going to try again.
yes.
They're going to try again with descriptive words that aren't misspelled or have any funky junk or attachments.
And the last thing I'll say about all that stuff is the way to like counteract it all is just keep track of everything. Get the names of who you're talking to.
Yes.
Get their position. Get the name of the company. If you really want, record the conversation. Keep track of your emails.
In certain states, you do have to tell them that you're recording.
Yeah, you can always tell somebody that though, right?
Yeah.
Localize it.
Yeah.
And if somebody doesn't like that, then they're probably not.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
you have to, in certain states, tell the person you're recording them.
Mhm.
Like, if they just, I think they have to either like consent or not. But it's certain states.
Yeah, the rule is basically somebody needs to be aware that they're being
Yeah.
recorded, and you can't basically set people up.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's illegal.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all those phone calls where people are like, "Hey, this call is being recorded for
Mhm.
training purposes." You can do the same thing. Just
Mhm.
like, yeah, by the way, I'm recording this call for security purposes.
Yeah.
They're like,
Exactly.
Oh, interesting.
And then they watch him out.
So yeah, so those are just a couple things to avoid, pay attention to as you're going about your day, about your year, and as you open your eyes more to the possibilities of what people can do, you're at least more aware and cautious about the interactions you have.
And that is the the best form of protection is just being aware.
Yep, I'm actually really happy you said that because that's very true. With your level of awareness increasing, you would know how to ask for help, how to seek it, how to critically think, which unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how to do. Critical thinking is a real thing, people.
Mhm.
And so is, what is it called? Not critical thinking, but basically when you're trying to figure something out or prove something, deductive reasoning. There you go.
Ah.
You need to be able to deductively reason with yourself as well.
Nice.
And be able to actually be like, okay, what's a good celebrity? Does Tom Cruise really want to send me $5,000 right now? No, he doesn't, Grandma.
No, I don't think he's that nice.
No, Grandma Jenny, he's not in love with you. I'm sorry. You're beautiful, but no.
Rich people tend to like their money more than other people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you're getting invited to go to the White House and it's a $10,000 fee, don't do it. Just like you got to be able to deductively reason with yourself in some of these situations, and hopefully, as we do more of these episodes and you hear from two different perspectives, and we're both just regular people, like you'll be able to be like, okay,
Just regular average Joes, my guys.
yeah, you'll be like, okay, if they can avoid getting scammed, then I can too.
And that is a beautiful little bow to the end of the episode, Roberto.
Yes, ma'am. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned something from our tangents today, and we'll be doing these more often. Hopefully in the next episode we have I like the freestyle conversations, but obviously I know Maya and I both want to have intense with some of the content as well.
Because I think the next one should be the ranking one.
Yeah.
And then we
I
can
agree
like
with you.
do like a little deep dive on, like a teeny tiny deep dive on each of the companies that we talk about.
Well, what we should do,
Or
yeah.
concepts or whatever. it
No, I
is.
like that, because what we could do is like we could even pull up the Telegram. We could pull up Uber. We can pull up insurance companies.
Yeah, there you go.
And then even maybe an airline.
Or public, the people's choice.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Some,
that's actually perfect. So if you have a business that you want us to investigate its shadiness on, let us know in the comments or drop us something.
and it will be in episode 5, the ranking edition.
That's where
episode.
we will start to establish our standard of shadiness rankings.
Yes. Because now that we've gotten cozy and comfy with each other, we kind of know each other's vibes. We can kind of like, I don't know, get deeper, get to the next level.
The next level of shadiness.
That's right. I'm Maya. This has been Shady Business, and we'll see you next time. Ciao. Thank you so much for watching. I am your host, Maya. If you want to follow along for any updates, please follow me on Instagram at Shady Business Podcast. If you'd like to follow along with everything else, follow SB Studios, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. This podcast was produced in partnership with SB Studios.